You're taking a live look at the Queen City from two angles. The big screen, our Newport on the Levee Cam, looking north towards downtown, where we're still seeing a little bit of afternoon clouds, and bottom right, Paycor Stadium. A little bit active today, right? Bengals preseason game was today, and while the score wasn't exactly what we wanted, the weather is at least in everyone's favor this afternoon, right? With temperatures barely getting into the 80s. That's right. It was forecast to be a pretty warm day. It was actually just relatively warm, which, I mean, we'll take it. It was a beautiful day to be outside, right? We're seeing temperatures right now here in Cincinnati, 82, and it feels like it. So what I'm seeing actually happen now is that cold front has actually arrived earlier than what was previously forecast. So what this means is that today wasn't as warm, it wasn't as humid, and we're noticing a little bit of a northerly breeze, a northwesterly breeze. You see it there, 9 miles per hour, so maybe a little breezy at times. You kind of see it on the Ohio River in the image behind the graphic. It's a little bit of a, not choppy, but not smooth, right? Feels like 82, and of course that humidity is going to be dropping. It's already dropped, which is why we've adjusted the forecast for tomorrow. A little bit better, a little bit drier, a lot of it drier to be quite frank, and then a little bit cooler as well. So if you have any questions about the extended forecast, we will get to that here in just a second. I want to show you and kind of unpack what's going on in the upstairs of the atmosphere, if you will, which we still have some clouds to get through as we get overnight into, or at least into the late evening, and then some clearing overnight because high pressure is still trying to hold on here. It's not succeeding. By all means, it's actually really struggling, right? We've already noticed some changes happening here in the Queen City and across the tri-state as well. And what you'll notice as we head overnight, a little bit of clearing. That's going to be right behind the cold front as those cooler temperatures and cooler air, I should say, starts to come on in. And so with this changing weather pattern, you are going to notice a little bit of a breeze. We're noticing it now. You'll notice it tomorrow, and you'll notice it on Monday as well. And then we'll start to settle down, but still remain quite cool as we head into the work week. So no changes in that extended forecast. You kind of see just a couple of those showers popping off right ahead of the cold front. This is up north central Indiana, excuse me, where we have just a couple of flare-up thunderstorms up towards South Bend, but that has lost a lot of steam. Again, high pressure is being interrupted by this cold front, but it's also really fighting against it too. So it's not going to be racing on through. We might catch a couple of showers tomorrow, but overall not too impressive. We'll unpack that forecast here in just a second. Take a look here at those temperatures. A beautiful evening. If you don't have plans, maybe just take a walk. Really soak it in. It's been a while since we've been able to see some beautiful sunshine here across the tri-state, and comfortable sunshine too. So your Saturday evening plans, if you're heading out to TQL Stadium, you're probably not listening to me, but they're going to be soaking in the comfortable sun. Cincinnati 82, Covington at 80, Hamilton 78, Wilmington 79. A little cooler out towards Batesville, but that's where we're seeing the cold front push through right about now, which wind speeds already from the north and the west. So no longer seeing that southerly breeze. We're not too concerned about any warmer temperatures or any humidity for the next 7 days potentially, with a northerly wind kind of just taking over. So sustained 5 to 10, maybe 15 mile per hour. But then these gusts earlier today were around 20 miles per hour. They have since died down just a little bit as we see the sun getting lower and lower on the horizon. We get a little bit farther from this high, which today we're at that high, 82 degrees. And to give you an idea of what normal looks like for this time of year, you're taking a look at the normal temperatures for each month, the average high temperature for each month, January through December. So we're kind of on the backside of this roller coaster, right? So the warmest month on average, it brings the hottest temperatures. It's going to be July, followed very closely by August. But then those temperatures really drop off as we get into the fall season. Very normal, of course. And to put you and give you a reminder of what we're forecasting in the week ahead, we're forecasting highs anywhere between 79 and 67. It's going to feel more like late September rather than late August, which typically this time of year we're supposed to feel like the middle 80s and maybe closer to 90 once you factor in that humidity, but we're not seeing it in our forecast, which means those temperatures from the mornings to the afternoons are going to fluctuate a lot. We're talking over 20-degree differences in some of our forecast highs and lows. Anyways, More on that here in a second, your 7-day. But we're waking up tomorrow similar to like we woke up to today. I don't think fog is going to be too much of an issue just because most of the cold front is going to be kicking through by then, but it's still going to be a little cooler, mid-60s for that wake up temperature. And then look at the afternoon. I've adjusted this a little bit. I don't think we're going to really get close to the middle 80s. In fact, I think we're just going to stay in the 70s. Upper 70s is what I'm forecasting. And mostly dry conditions both here at the surface and aloft. So we're going to be seeing a lot of that sunshine throughout the day. Soak it in. But if you can't soak it in, it's all right. We have plenty of days in that extended forecast in which it's going to be comfortable and sunny at the same time. Something that might be noticeable stepping out the door to your plans, your outdoor plans tomorrow, these wind gusts. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, anywhere from about 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts possible in the afternoon. And Monday, rinse and repeat, anywhere from about 20 to 25 mile per hour wind gusts. And then we'll start to slowly see those wind gusts become a little less noticeable. You'll still notice it, but it's just Sunday, Monday is where we're really seeing it. To remind you of where these dew points were. So dew point is the measure of moisture suspended in the air. And typically for August, we are within the muggy and humid category, which it's seasonal heat. It is August, the dog days of summer. Humidity is normal, right? What's not normal is early this last week, we had near tropical dew points, especially on Monday and Tuesday. And then this upcoming work week, very dry conditions, abnormally dry conditions. And it's very similar to what happened last year, but not as long of a period of dry weather. We can't rule out drought conditions in parts of the Ohio Valley. We've got our eyes on it, absolutely. I don't think it's going to be as elongated as last year's was, but with very little rain out of the next 10 days and even well into September, you might notice those lighter impacts from the lack of rain. You most certainly will need to take care of the lawns and the gardens via your watering can, a sprinkler. You're gonna get the enough use out of them, right? Okay, let's show you what the chance for rain looks like tomorrow, which I mean chance. It's not a guarantee. I think most of us are going to remain entirely dry. That forecast really hasn't changed a whole lot, but you'll notice overnight we'll experience some clouds, mostly clear skies though. A bit of fog for that, any morning plans, but not a widespread issue, mainly sticking to the area valleys and waterways. Most of the day is mostly sunny for most of us. And then we get into the early afternoon. Notice these tiny little showers. Oh, you can see my Coke. That's embarrassing. My Coca-Cola. So we have these tiny little showers just south and east. That's where we have the opportunity for maybe a light shower just nearing the Cincinnati area, right? I don't think it's going to impact too many of us. I don't think it's going to impact most of us. In fact, it might not impact any of us. It's such a low chance, right? And then we'll take you overnight into Monday with temperatures dropping. Those dew points will have dropped by then as well. And we are looking at a pretty fall-like start to your work week ahead, which it's also going to be dry, right? So your 6 to 10 day precip outlook. So this is basically unpacking how much rain is in the forecast, if any. It goes from below normal to above normal. Below normal is kind of the warmer tones, the beige color. Gray means normal. And light green to dark green is above normal. So you can see Cincinnati and most of the Buckeye State and most of the Great Lakes region, to be quite frank, below normal precip. And we've watched this map pretty carefully as well. I'm not seeing any significant changes in it, so expect very dry conditions from start to finish in this 7-day forecast, which tomorrow, a slim rain chance at best. I think most of us are entirely dry. 79 degrees, your forecast high. Are waking up Monday morning in the 50s. You'll probably reach for the light jacket, and it's okay. It's not a short-lived taste of fall. This one will last several days, your entire work week, and even stepping into next weekend as well. So Monday, mid-70s, falling asleep to the 50s, waking up in the 50s as well. 74 for Tuesday. Notice the rainy icons are not on this 7-day forecast. No substantial, reliable rain to water the lawns and gardens for the next 10 days, I know. Mostly sunny for Wednesday, partly cloudy on Thursday with just a little bit of a warm up there. Not too noticeable, but You might notice some extra clouds that day as well. We're watching for a stray shower chance that afternoon, but even that is dropping. And then Friday, 80 degrees. It's very possible that you may not reach 80 degrees until next weekend, which for this time of year is not normal, right? Okay, let's see if we have any questions coming on in. Iris is tuning in. Good evening. When is the official day of fall? Yeah, the first official day of fall is September 22nd. So less than a month away. I'll actually show you a countdown here in a second. So Vicki, thanks for chiming in with the answer to that question as well. And no other questions coming on in. So let's unpack the fun graphics I made about not only fall and all of that good stuff, but also some breaking news coming in to our inbox, which is Tropical Storm Fernand, which is the next named storm after Hurricane Erin, which I don't believe is a hurricane anymore. She has lifted off into the northern Atlantic, and yeah, she's no longer a hurricane at this point in time. Whereas we do have it's Fernand. So that advisory was issued about an hour ago, which this is pretty new information. Good news about this is that it's even farther east from the track of Hurricane Erin, so we're expecting even less impact to the eastern United States. And if that wasn't enough reassurance for you guys, this might not even make it to a hurricane status because it's going to be trekking into very, at least relatively cool waters. It's going to be heading more north instead of heading west towards shallow water. So it's just forecast to remain at that tropical storm level as it slowly makes its way north and then eventually east past St. John's. So that's the good news, but the breaking news for Tropical Storm Fernand. Taking you back home now, 9 days till Labor Day. It's a week from Monday. That's also September 1st, if you can believe that. 7 o'clock sunset's also not too far on the horizon, just 2 weeks and some change for that. So that's going to be a sunset that is within 7 to 8 o'clock. Getting earlier, and that's a sign of the times, of the fall times, 30 days until fall, so less than a month. And then Halloween, 69 days until that. And to give you an idea of what peak fall color looks like here in the Ohio Valley. I know you haven't thought about it already, but you will think about it stepping out the door. You're like, oh, it feels like fall. I feel like it should look like fall. And we still have plenty of summer to go, because look at this. We're more than likely not going to be seeing the color in the leaves change until late September, and then the peak fall color, so the deepest, most vibrant yellows, oranges, and reds, likely not going to be seeing that until the very last week of October to early November. Very normal to see that change around that time. And of course, here in Cincinnati, the orange that you see there, anywhere from October 28th to November 4th, that's generally where we see the most vibrant colors. And it'll be a little earlier the farther north you are. It'll be later the farther south you are. So I'm excited. I'm kind of dressed like fall right now. It was unintentional. I'm more dressed orange with orange because of the Bengals game today. But nevertheless, very excited for fall, everything having to do with it, including the weather, and we'll get a taste of it. Remember, we still have plenty of time till actual fall, about 30 days until then, and even early fall can bring some abnormally warm days. So just because we're settling into a fall pattern and we're talking a big game about fall color and ooh la la, it's not a slam dunk, right? It's not like fall is actually here. It's possible, but it's also way more normal to have that September warm up. If I had the list of actual Cincinnati seasons, I would show you. But right now we're in false fall, and we're gonna go right back to summer's front door. That's kind of the two categories we're in between right now. So if anything changes to this forecast having to do with your 7-day, I'll pull that up one last time for you guys to get a good look at, which again looks fantastic. No weather woes. You might argue it's boring. I argue that it's boring, but that means it's good, uneventful, unimpactful to your outdoor plans. In fact, make those outdoor plans, take advantage of it, because while I'm not noticing any extreme warm-ups, even in the extended 10-day forecast here, we're still entering into September, which is bringing high temperatures closer to 80 degrees anyways. So once again, summer is not over. It's just not in this 10-day forecast. And while it is feeling like fall, it's also going to be quite dry. We don't want to forget that. So make sure you are checking in on everybody having to do with that. But for now, go ahead and see if I have any other questions coming on in. Susan's tuning in. Good evening. Thanks for such a beautiful weather forecast. You're so welcome. I love being the bearer of good news for once, Susan. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a good evening as well. And good afternoon, Michael. All right, I'm not seeing any other questions coming on in, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. Thanks for tuning in this Saturday evening. Enjoy the beautiful forecast. We'll let you know if things change right here at Fox 19 Now.